We do want to switch gears because Airbnb releasing new numbers on its host community, which show that more women are finding success hosting on the platform. According to the company, women have collectively earned an all-time figure of $70 billion since 2008. And joining me now to talk all about this growth is Catherine Powell, Global Head of Hosting at Airbnb. Catherine, welcome to the show. So good to have you. How has Airbnb been a key driver in generating revenue for women who we've seen be disproportionately impacted by this pandemic?
Hi, and thank you for having me. It's great to be here. Yes, as you said, women have been disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. So it has been so gratifying to see them turn to hosting. And women have always been an incredibly important part of our community. 55% of our hosts are women. As you say, since 2008, they have earned cumulatively $70 billion. But even since the pandemic, since May of last year to May this year, which has really been the height of the pandemic, new hosts have earned $1 billion on Airbnb.
$1 billion, that's incredible. What's driving the boom that we see to some of these female-owned or female-managed properties?
Yes, so and I should be clear, it's our female hosts who've earned $1 billion to May this year. I mean, as I said, 55% of our hosts are women. A third of those are mothers with their children still at home. Nearly a third who are employed female hosts are teachers, or they work in healthcare or social work. So they naturally are in industries that are about caring and looking after people, which is exactly what hosting and hospitality is all about. So I think that attracts them, and it also makes them very successful. We have super hosts who are our very best hosts, and nearly 60% of our super hosts are also women.
It's absolutely incredible. I'm just curious, for anyone who's on the sidelines right now, perhaps thinking of putting their property on Airbnb, being a host is a good thing, Catherine, but walk us through some of these more micro steps that they can take to be a truly good host.
Absolutely. So our hosts, the majority of our hosts, 90% are individual people. And so therefore we have made it very easy for them to become hosts. We've actually reduced the steps that you need to take to publish your listing on Airbnb just to 10 steps. So we have a simple procedure for you to list your space, as we call it. We also have experienced super hosts who are there to handhold you through it. And once you've published your space, we're there to also ensure that you have the tools for success. And 50% of our new hosts will get a booking within the first 4 days. And I think 75% will get a booking within the first 16 days. So my focus is really to ensure that we have tools that make it easy to become a host, and then tools that make it easy to host successfully. And we have an incredible community who are there also to support you. And as you say, if you have a space, you can be a host.
Now, we are in the midst, of course, of the coronavirus still, trying to get to the other side. Catherine, the good news is those COVID cases are coming down. The scary news is that the colder winter months in travel are upon us in terms of holiday travel, which could see a pickup in COVID cases. As the global head of hosting at Airbnb, how are you helping the company navigate this pandemic, the constantly changing reality of this pandemic?
It's certainly, for a travel company, it's been a very challenging time. I mean, I joined Airbnb 2 months before the pandemic, and then we went through an incredibly difficult period. I mean, we lost 80% of our business, and our hosts were really severely impacted. And what I've done for the past 18 months has been to listen to our hosts, to do workshops that we've done globally, to understand what it is that they need, and more importantly, to really identify how travel patterns are changing, how guest behavior is changing. So, for example, last year when we started to see more long-term stays, when we started to see people working remotely from home, traveling with their pets, we created an insights dashboard for hosts to share this information with them. We created a tool so that they could share their Wi-Fi speed. And we go hand in hand, helping them react and respond to the changing patterns of behavior. And travel has changed. Travel will never go back to how it was, I think, pre-pandemic. And my role is to ensure that we can help our hosts react in an agile way. Their agility, the fact that our product is human and can respond in this way, really is at the heart of our business model.
I am curious, as we head into these colder winter months, those still holiday travel months, busy times for travel, oil prices are rising, impacting prices at the pump, of course, airline tickets as well, and then we will have flu season that will hit as well. What is your forecast for these next 4 months or so, and how is Airbnb adapting, knowing that we're entering a new season?
So we need to be cautious, and we need to ensure the safety of our community. That is our number one priority. It's something that we've been focused on from the very beginning of the pandemic. We expect there still to be travel. We've seen spikes in COVID. Obviously, we've seen changing travel restrictions and challenges in Europe. And we expect, sometimes there'll be cancellations or people will rebook. We want to ensure that there's as much flexibility for our hosts and for our guests. We're certainly seeing that that demand will continue, but we just have to stay very close, one with our hosts, but also with health experts and local government, ensuring that we can help our hosts adhere to guidelines. I think, though, that we will still see that pent-up demand, that desire to connect continue, especially in the holiday season. It's such an important time for families to reunite.
Catherine, let me ask you quickly before we run out of time here, what is your expectation? What is your forecast in terms of travel, hosting, stays at Airbnb? Do you think that they'll be up this holiday period versus a year ago?
Well, I can't give any forward guidance. What I can say is that our hosts are thriving at the moment on Airbnb. We are doing everything that we can to ensure that they have the tools and are able to respond to changing guest travel. But I think the one thing that will not change this holiday season is our guests' desire to connect with their friends and family.
All right, Catherine Powell, Global Head of Hosting at Airbnb. Catherine, thank you so much.